Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob coming at you with day 4 of our small accounts challenge, strictly trading Robert Anderson's Gold Line trading bot. I will be trading this system all day here today, and let's see how the trades perform. It looks like we are going to possibly get into a NASDAQ trade here very shortly. Let's go to the intro. All right, we're back, and nothing. Let me just blow up this chart of the NASDAQ so we can take a look and see what exactly is going on. So as you guys can see, we, well, it's kind of been pretty choppy this morning. So we got news this morning coming out.
Order submitted.
This is probably going to knock us out just because, well, this is right prior to news. Typically, I wouldn't be trading this. We got news. It's 8:53 in the morning Central Time on the 27th of October. We got news coming out at 9 a.m. So again, normally I wouldn't be trading this, but at the same time, well, the trade just went to break even, so no risk really on the table for this one. But just based on what I've seen in the morning, just a lot of wicks, a lot of chop. Obviously some positioning before the news comes out. And obviously, when that news does pump out, you're going to get probably a wick one way or the other. Sometimes it'll take you right to your take profit, and sometimes not. So right now we're at about 10 points of profit, which is great. Got a little push here downwards. So our target here looks to be 18 points. I'm sorry. Yeah, 18 points. So we got 18 and 3/4 points. So real close to our take profit there. Again, I'm not closing positions prematurely.
Order canceled.
Well, there we go. So we got our first profit of the day on the Nasdaq. So that trade was a success. That was 2 micro contracts that initiated off the 5 gold line. So let's see here. We had a push down, pull back up, and then this was our activation, our activation candle. This is the candle that got us into the trade because it pierced the low. And then it was about 18 and a half points of profit there on the NASDAQ. So let's take a look. That was a profit of $72. That's what it shows up on my P&L with Ninja. Should be a little box up here. I'm curious to see what that's gonna say the same amount here. Let's give it a second. Looks like both got in at 14,310 and both closed at 14,291 and a quarter. There's my little box. I like that little box. Let's see if it well, man, that was a close one. I mean, that literally went right to our take profit and just wicked right back up. Again, we got 4 minutes to news. Personally, I wouldn't have taken that trade. If I was trading this, either the manual system myself. I didn't take a trade this morning on the NASDAQ as well, just because I didn't like what I was looking at as far as this movement. I mean, this is just gross. The fact that this system even made money in this type of environment. I don't know if it could have been just luck. I mean, shit, right on the tick, and it just exploded back upwards. So don't see my little trade confirmation box come up. Or not my confirmation, but like the little details box that shows you kind of the results of that trade hasn't shown up yet. So let's minimize this guy. I'm going to put you back in your place over here in NASDAQ. Good job. Good job. And for some reason, another thing too that I noticed is like oil strategy loads really quickly. The NASDAQ seems to be the one that takes the longest for this strategy to load. And now I'm thinking that maybe that's the reason why it's taking the system maybe a little bit longer for that dialog box to come up that shows you the results of that trade. So that was a short. So usually that box shows up somewhere on the bottom part, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see. I realize that every time I make a big move like that, just trusting that button. So here's my plan. We're up in the challenge, which is fantastic. We're up for the day, which is awesome. News is going to hit here in a minute. This should be interesting. Let's see what kind of movement we get here and if the system does take anything. I'm going to be extremely curious to see what it does here. But one thing I wanted to let you guys know is that today I do plan on leaving the system run all the way until its finality, as far as the end of the market, or at least until the end of each trading session that is pre-built in the strategy. And then I will just edit. I'm going to edit the video so just to show trade setups and actual trade entries. That's what a lot of people have been saying that they prefer. I think I would prefer the same thing as well. So we get an interesting one here now in oil. Sorry guys, I'm trying to take a look at all my other charts here really quick. Yeah, let's see what we got here. All right, so news hit. Let's see what we get. Yeah, so you just look at this action. It's just not very difficult to trade. Another thing too that I have found is, especially on super big news days, FOMC days, I feel like the big moves are prior to the news actually coming out. I think that's where your really good opportunities to I think those are where the really good opportunities and the moves come in at. after the news, yeah, you get these huge wicks up and down, but and generally historically, if you look at just FOMC, I mean, if you start to journal a lot of your stuff, you kind of start to see some patterns and trends. And in general, it's usually a positive day. Now, that's not saying for every single one it's going to be that way, but markets generally react more positive to the big FOMC news days. So, that could kind of turn into a small edge if you track that. So we've got right now the Nasdaq that is looking for trades, and we have the Russell that has started looking for trades right at 9 a.m. Don't believe oil is looking for trades yet. It is not. I believe that this one starts. Let's see what time oil is ready to go. So we got a 10 a.m., 10:45.
Order submitted.
So it looks like 10 a.m. is the earliest. So we got another setup here showing up in the NAS. Let's see what we got here. We've got a 5-minute gold line trade that has set up that is probably not going to activate. I mean, again, look at this chop. I mean, that's just not good. Yeah, I don't think that this trade's going to activate here.
Order canceled.
There you go. Order canceled. So which is fine. We'll go on to the next one. I mean, so far, just a gross data trade. Don't like it. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of opportunities here present itself. Doesn't look like my oil trade's gonna work this morning. Didn't like the setup. Don't like the news event. Hit right almost at the exact same time as the news. So that's generally one that, I would have passed up on in the past, but got so many people trading it now that feel like, let's just see what the strategy does. So that took me out. Actually, it came pretty close to my take profit. Actually, you know what? I got in a little late on that. I think if you would have got in on my rules exactly, you probably would have taken your profit on that oil trade. But that's okay. We'll see what the 9 a.m., 9 to 10 session gives us. Actually, that was a trade that I guess I would consider to be the 9 to 10, so that might be done for me on oil. So we've got one trade. Box never showed up on the NAS. Detail box. I don't think it did. I don't see it anywhere. All right, so again, my plan here is to let the system run. Make sure that this is... And I will give some commentary, and I'll give you guys some commentary once I take a look and see what the results are at the end of the day. So hope everybody's enjoying what I'm putting out here on the channel. I've got my NASDAQ strategy video pretty much ready to go, so that'll be uploaded maybe tonight, maybe on Monday. We'll see. But it's pretty much ready to go. I think you guys will like that one as well. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right, so we finished off the trading day. If you guys saw a lot of the edits of what trades were taken, the first trade that we had on the NASDAQ, which was, I think, our first trade of the day, that went for a profit of, I believe, $74. And then after that, I mean, today's session was again just a lot of chop in the beginning with the news, and believe that the system took two more trades on the Nasdaq. Looks like we had two touches here of the 1 minute gold line. No trades there. We had a second trade right around 2 o'clock, 1:55 ish, and that one went for a loss of $31. So it looks like again, pull back here to the 5 minute red line, got into the trade with this activation candle and knocked us out. So the next trade that it took lost $30, which was a pullback into the 5 minute red line right here. Activation candle. We get activated and we got stopped here out for $30 on here. So not too good. So $61 in those two trades of loss there. We had $74 winner in the beginning. So we were still ahead at that point, but oil came in. First trade it took. It's really hard to see with these colors, but just bear with me here. We had a movement upwards. We had a piercing of the 1 minute gold line. We get our activation candle. We're in a trade, and obviously you can see the dump right here. We were able to get $2. So I mean, we're able to be positive $2 in that first trade. You know, it obviously saved us here from a bigger loss, that auto trailing feature. Our second trade lost $12 here, where we had a nice pullback. We get an activation candle right here. We get activated into the trade. We get stopped out, but man, look at this nice pump right after. I mean, this must have taken us out by just a little bit. So that that's brutal there, but hey, that's trading. That's what happens. So oil was not successful today on the bot. Minus $10 in total with those two trades. So for the day, we had a small loss. We took a $9.40 loss there. So our count currently sits at $2,196.08 for the challenge. On to day 4. As I promised, I am working on getting my Nasdaq trade. One of my 2 Nasdaq trades. That video is going to come out either tonight or possibly on Monday. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that one. I think you guys are going to really like that scalping strategy. You know, it's a pretty simple one for those of you that are following my oil trade. I don't want to say it's similar because it's really not, but it's systematic, which is what I like. It is time-based, but it still does involve you having to be in front of charts. So hopefully you guys are enjoying what I am putting out there, what I'm putting out on the channel. You know, I've been overwhelmed with the positive comments, and you know, a lot of people saying, hey, I'm taking some of these trades that you're doing. You know, I've also been evaluating or thinking about purchasing Robert Anderson's trading bot, and I like the fact that you're giving an honest review, and I'm trying to be as honest as possible. So far, I really do like the system. You know, I am seeing obviously a common theme, and I've been talking about this, you know, pretty much in all of my videos that I've done, where You do see some good moves, like that first NASDAQ move was a pretty decent trade. And we got into some profit, but then it's just like all these other small little hits keep cutting at you and keep, eating away at that profit. Like I'm waiting for the day. And granted, today, very tough news, very tough day to trade, a lot of chop. So, take that for what it's worth. I think that the system, the fact that it really only lost $9 in today's environment, and it was pretty much positive all the way until like almost the end of the day, to me was a very positive sign. I think it was a very positive sign for the system and strategy. So I feel very optimistic about that. With that being said, look out for my NASDAQ trade. I'm sure you guys are going to really like that one. And I can't wait for Monday to get to our day 5 of our 30-day small account challenge. Take care, everyone.